I didn't find out the way most people do. No lipstick on a collar. No suspicious messages in the middle of the night. I found out on a Tuesday morning while I was making coffee. Her phone buzzed on the counter. She was in the shower. I wasn't trying to look. I really wasn't. But the screen lit up just enough for me to see one sentence. I miss you already. That's it. No name. No emoji. Just 3 words. And somehow, they hit harder than any proof ever could. We'd been married for 7 years. 7 quiet, comfortable years. We weren't unhappy. But we weren't happy in the dramatic way movies make it seem. No yelling. No slammed doors. Just distance. We had learned to live next to each other, but separately. 1 bed. 2 different worlds. At first, I convinced myself it was nothing. A friend. A co-worker. Someone who just needed to vent. But something clicked in my chest. Like a tiny crack, forming and slowly spreading. And once that crack exists, you start noticing everything. She started taking longer showers. Phone always face down. Her laughter came more often, just not with me. And the strangest part, she didn't become cold. She became different. Kinder, guiltier, maybe. And that's when I realized, guilt has a sound. And I could hear it in her voice. I didn't confront her. Not because I was scared. Because I wanted to understand. Wanted to understand how someone can leave without leaving the room. So I started paying attention. Really paying attention. I noticed how she dressed differently on Wednesdays. How she checked the mirror twice before leaving. Why? How she started using words she never used before. They sounded borrowed. One night, she fell asleep on the couch. Phone still in hand. Vladimir Other still in hand. I sat there and just watched it. Every instinct told me, pick it up. Look. Get the answers. But I didn't. I just watched her sleep. And then it hit me. She didn't leave me for someone else. She had already left long before he came along. People think cheating is about desire. It's not. It's about escape. A few days later, she said she'd be working late. Said it too casually. Too easily. I nodded. Told her to drive safe. She smiled. And that smile confirmed everything. That night I did something unexpected. I wrote her a letter. Not angry. Not pleading. Just honest. I wrote about the man I used to be. The one who laughed more. Listened more. Who didn't replace effort with routine. I wrote about the nights we stopped talking. About how silence slowly became normal. I didn't accuse her. I didn't beg. I just told the truth. I left the letter on the kitchen table, packed a small bag, and I left. I didn't tell her where I was going. Stayed at a cheap motel outside the city. Flickering lights. Thin walls. And for the first time in years, I slept without tension in my shoulders. She called the next morning. Once. Twice. 5 times. I didn't answer. Not to punish her. I just needed silence. 3 days passed. On the 4th, I went back home. The house felt smaller. She was sitting at the table. Letter folded in front of her. So, I get denied. Her eyes were red. She didn't deny it. She didn't defend herself. She said one thing. I didn't think you'd notice. That sentence hit harder than the affair itself. Ah, she was right. I hadn't noticed for a long time. She told me everything. How it started. How it felt. How empty she had been. And I listened. Really listened. Then I said something she didn't expect. I'm not angry. She looked confused. I continued. But I'm done pretending this is a marriage. And that's when the story changed. I didn't ask her to leave. I didn't threaten divorce. Lie, summary. I gave her a choice. We would separate for 6 months. No contact. No checking in. No safety net. If after 6 months she still wanted that other life, I would sign the papers without a fight. But if she didn't, then we would start over. Not continue. Start fresh. She cried. Not because she lost me, because for the first time, someone removed the comfort of indecision. I moved out that day. 6 months is a long time, and also no time at all. I learned how quiet mornings could feel, how loneliness and peace sometimes feel the same. I learned betrayal doesn't destroy you. Avoiding yourself does. On the last day of the 6th month, she asked to meet. We sat across from each other at a cafe. She looked different. Not better. Not worse. Just honest. She told me she ended the affair weeks after I left. Not because I asked. Because without secrecy, it didn't make sense anymore. Then, she asked a question I never expected. Would you still choose me? I paused. And then I said, Wonder me. What should? I don't know yet. That's the ending. Not revenge. Not reconciliation. Choice. Wine. For the first time, I wasn't staying for history. I was deciding based on truth. Sometimes, the strongest response to betrayal isn't confrontation. It's clarity.